So I'm using kind of a dull blade to do this first part because
Squirt.
yeah, just they wear out super fast, kind of, if you're picky. You don't get a good cut line if you're... Actually, this one feels pretty good. It's a 12 blade.
What blade?
It's a 12 blade, yeah.
12?
Yeah.
Why 12?
Because the 11 blade is it's a straight cut. This has, you have a lot of control. It's a surgical blade.
It's a weapon.
Yeah, it's super weapony. And then... No, this is, in part, this is kind of sort of the dangerous part, because you're pointing at yourself. But as long as your pinky is on the mold, you almost cannot cut this hand anyway, right? So there's a protocol to how you actually handle the blade in relation to the mold to never cut yourself. I used to get really excited when I was cutting the feet and always mangle them. It takes a lot of force to do this. I can do about maximum 3, maybe 4 a day, depending on how big they are.
It's like surgery.
Yeah. If you don't do this at the angle that I'm doing, like see how I'm kind of stabbing right down, it will bow in, like it'll just cut in too much of an angle. People have all different styles, like what you were saying about the zigzags before. I find that distracting. When you see how it's being cut, see why it's kind of annoying to try and do that all the time. But it's how you're trained. So I was trained to do it this way. Now, generally you're cutting for the center, and this one I'm going to be fishing a little bit, but not that much. You don't want to run into the model prematurely. You got to cut down the sprue. And this is where I forget to put mold release on. I think it might be a thing of where mold release helps in this instance. Sort of new to this material, so you might see it sticking. It's kind of a real pain in the ass. Because normally it just releases from the metal, and you can peel it back and have eyes on what you're doing. This is a bit different. Okay, so run into the model. So yeah, these ones are kind of a messy cut because of thing I was saying where it's stuck. Oh, yeah, I'm running into it again. So normally it should release. It's not doing that, so I'm basically just going to do a run around. Normally I would cut along, like do it exactly in the right spot. I'm probably cutting across the face right now. So pretty soon I'm going to switch blades. Trying to get it to break the seal. Okay, here we go. Perfect. I was just lucky that I hit the model at a good spot. It can usually screw you up. So no matter where your lines are on the outside, you gotta follow the center of this thing through. Sometimes you try and just break it apart. Sometimes I use a soft solder to get it off. So this rubber is kind of soft. In that you can damage it with this thing. You try and put it in a spot where it's not going to matter. Kind of goes on forever. Still can't quite tell where it is. You never ever try and adjust this part with your fingers. So what you're aiming for is the corners.
So sharp.
Yeah. You can see the amount of force you need to actually do this, right? Like, it's crazy.
To spread it apart, you mean?
Well, yeah, to torque it, like, you gotta, it's full control. And, super tiny and super precise. And, like, normally, you see where, if you look down there, you can see where it's sort of adhesing, right? To the model. It's kind of not supposed to do that. Like, it makes it not really work. It's like death by 1,000 cuts. And you really don't want to bump into the model with the tip. So, and what's really actually better is sort of surf along the edge of something. It's kind of a lot harder when it's stuck together though. You get a better seam. That way, like, this seam is a little bit here. It's not, it's the angle is kind of poor. But in a perfect world, sort of peels back a bit better. So I'm sort of approximating, I'm guessing where the corner is. Just on where, well, that's a pretty good guess, right? So then the other rule is you never, ever, ever Put your fingers behind where the cut line is going to be when you're near the end. That way you just don't cut yourself. No, yeah, even though you're pointing at it with a stabby tool. And then the other thing is venting. So super gentle and right into the tiniest corner, as accurate as you can. You do a cut line at the high point. In the case of text, sometimes you have to do an unbelievable amount of cuts right across the face of the object, or detail in a way that you really would desire not to if you didn't know it was gonna disappear later.
What's the venting for?
It's to create a displacement area for the air when the wax goes into the mold, and those areas are lubricated with powder, the talcum powder. So in theory, it should work without it. Like this particular type of mold material, it's just so kind of perfect, and creates a seal because it's silicone. Like you almost technically shouldn't need this, but you still do for it to work. Lighting is always very important. Can't be really that deep, these lines, right? Like, otherwise that's where some flashing will go in. So I was taught by a master mold cutter because he didn't want to cut the thousands of molds he knew I was going to bring him. So these vents, they go out as well. See, that will sort of be not a fun part of the mold potentially, but not that big of a deal. You kind of have to account for warpage. Like this isn't the shape of it. That is like a rectangle, but it's in a wave. So you have to gauge where the material actually, what it translates into in reality. The reason for stretching it is it's actually more accurate. When it's compressed, you have a better chance of cutting it in the wrong place. And so what this does is it ensures your corners come out properly. These cuts really shouldn't be very deep to the outside. None of them should. And then I'm going to do a cutaway there. And basically just test it. And if I really gave a damn about this, I would do another little line around there, like if it was a precise part or it was important or something like that. But it's not. This is what I was talking about, venting over the text. You really don't want to. It feels like it's wrong. If you don't, it won't necessarily come out. And I'm pausing on the cuts that are close to my hand, and I'm going to continue later, but I'm just not doing it while my hand is there. Basically, if you always follow those rules, you can't cut yourself. But, like, you're applying so much force that it would be really easy if you didn't have a system. It really helps if all the vent lines are connected. Some of these are not, but I don't really care. There we go. And sometimes you will connect the in-between lines here a little bit. I'm going to open this up so that it will actually give it up easier. So we'll see if these ones are easier to use.
Oh my God. Got something. You make the hole for the actual one,
Yeah.
Channel for the hole.
Yeah, no.